Why 1845? Our grandfather's great-grandmother, Polly Beck, was around 25 years old in 1845 and would have most likely worn at least one dress that is similar to this one. Tonya Hogner-Weavel, in her presentation Cherokee Clothing History and Resources in 2019, described an antique dress that a committee of Cherokee women used to develop the modern tear dress in the 1960s. This dress was reportedly saved by descendants of a woman who had survived the removal, also known as the Trail of Tears, and wore it during the rebuilding of the Cherokee Nation. Without access to that dress, we compared Tonya's description to other surviving dresses of the 1840s and 1850s that have been collected and described in the United States and the United Kingdom. Using the Workwoman's Guide and the construction notes from a commercial work dress pattern, Lisa developed her inferred progenitor tear dress. It has a front opening bodice with a tight lining. It is laced closed in the center front. It has gussets under the arms, bias cut sleeves, piping on many seams, and a short frill trimming the skirt. It's worn with 2 petticoats, a pair of corded stays, and a small bustle. It is fully hand-sewn. We do want to be very clear that Lisa's 1845 work dress is not a critique of the modern tear dress. The modern tear dress is as authentic and culturally significant to modern Cherokee people, including ourselves, as the muumuu is to the people of Hawaii and the dirndl is to Germans. This is simply a different interpretation of that dress.
Hold down your parasol for just a second so you can see your face, look at the mill. And then come walk toward me and go around the camera either way, right or left. Okay.
Why 1871? The bustle and all of the changes to the skirt and bodice that went with it marked a sea change in fashion. Yes, I did just say that Lisa's 1845 also has a small bustle, so it isn't as if bustles suddenly burst onto the scene in the 1870s, but they definitely did change, and everything else changed quite a lot. And in the book Dressed for the Photographer, Ordinary Americans and Fashion from 1840 to 1900, Joan Severa says, "Never before had there been so rapid and dramatic a transformation in a woman's silhouette." On the other hand, dress historian Agnes Young sorted dress styles from 1760 to 1937 into 3 sets of what she calls contours. With her sorting, it is easier to see how the 1870s bustle style actually harkens back to similar shapes from the 1780s and 1790s. Before 2020, I was considering depicting a different time in Polly's life. In 2023, however, I craved a project that could speak to renewal and hope rather than survival. I like to think that Polly would have created an ensemble like this as part of her desire to celebrate putting the past behind her, as well as the birth of her first grandchild. John Beck was born August 17, 1871. Spare a thought for his mother, Julia Ann, who at the age of 20 lost her husband when he was killed at the trial of the man who killed her mother only a few months earlier. In any case, Polly could have kept up with fashion by reading about it as well as seeing other people wearing it. Marna Jean Davis has shown that with the exception of style changes to make a dress easier to put on without help, even working-class women from the 1830s and on would have done their very best to keep up with current trends. We know this is not the time period for Colonial Williamsburg, so please don't... Woo! Please don't yell at us in the comments. But we thought we're here and we already have the clothes, and we don't necessarily get an opportunity to film in a beautiful location. So even though this was not here in this form,
And it's the wrong kind of mill.
Everything's wrong.
Everything's wrong.
Even, we couldn't resist.
And out of respect for the staff and honestly for the experience of the other patrons, we're gonna go change.
We'll say it again. But just to reiterate, we don't, I don't want to say condone, but like we're not going to run around dressed in non-modern clothes. That cannon firing was actually them saying that they're open for the day, which means that we will return to our regular garments.
Yeah. So basically we're concerned that coming to Williamsburg and walking around when they're open dressed in 19th century clothes might be a distraction and detract from other people's experience of this beautiful site that we love so much. So we're gonna go get into modern clothes because we just heard a cannon go off, and that means that they're actually open for the day. We did all our filming this morning running around well before they were open, and other patrons were on site.
As you can see, it all fits quite easily into a garment bag. In fact, this is both of our outfits in one garment bag. I'm going to go into this, after this I'm going to go into the side yard in case he really doesn't care that we're here, and get him from that angle too. But this blue sky is pretty nice behind him.
This is gorgeous. It's really Framingham. Sorry, really checking out. We were taking video of a hawk.
Yeah. God, he's so pretty.
He's a pretty boy.
He's nice and fat.
Yeah, he's sleek.
I wonder what kind he is.
Huh?
I wonder what kind he
We
is.
can look it up because I got a good look at his breast was kind of rust colored.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
something we can look up.
Stripes on the tail too.
Yeah. No, he's a looker.
Thank you so much for stopping by. We had a great time filming this. And as always, there's a lot more information in the description of this video, so please check that out for links and any other details that you might be curious about.